Hey guys, today we actually have new information in the world of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Take into account the single player mode, crossplay, sandbox, gameplay details, and more. This is very important, so make sure you hit that like button. Now, let's begin. We'll just go straight into the interview because I don't want to waste time here. So I'll be doing this in one take. So thank you so much for your time this morning. I would like to start off with your name and your position. He's the producer on Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 and also oversaw the development of Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. So the question is, what is the significance of the setting of the game in Age 1000? Why go with the specific year rather than, say, 300 or 500 after the earlier titles? He says, first off, I cannot overstate Akira Toriyama's involvement in the development of the game. From the original worldview to the new character designs, he collaborated with us on almost every aspect, laying the foundation for this game's sandbox. He wanted to jump into the future because Xenoverse 1 and 2 focus heavily on traveling to the past to fix history. For the third entry, we want to look forward. Xenoverse has always been about delivering a completely new Dragon Ball experience that people haven't seen before. Setting it hundreds of years into the future provides an entirely unknown territory for fans and for us as creators to explore. So essentially, yeah, they're not doing the whole fix the time, fix history like they did in previous games. So it's going to be different, definitely. Can you talk about how technology has progressed in the universe over the hundreds of years? To clarify, I mean the actual in-universe technology of Age 1000. He says, I can't reveal everything just yet, but if you look closely at the gameplay and trailers, you can spot glimpses of systems like soul switching and soul assist. The future world has progressed significantly, and there is concrete logical backbone as to why things are happening the way they are. These mechanical shifts tie directly into why original characters are swapping with iconic roster fighters and why your custom player avatar is interacting with this world. A lot of these unique ideas came straight from Toriyama, and they serve as a major narrative beats you will uncover. Were there any specific story, drafts, or concepts left by Toriyama that you feel could only be told within the structure of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3? Yes, absolutely. The core settings and foundational concepts he provided served as the guiding axis for our entire team. We spent a lot of time brainstorming together to flesh out these ideas. It is incredibly exciting material, and because Xenoverse is a game heavily shaped by its community, we want players to experience and live out these stories together online. How central is the multiplayer aspect to Xenoverse 3? So, it's confirmed that it is a clean 50-50 split between the single-player narrative and the online multiplayer suite. Xenoverse occupies a very unique genre space because it has a definitive, highly engaging campaign, but also functions as a massive online sandbox to tackle with friends. Both sides of the game received an equal amount of deep focus and developmental resources. Now this question is, can players take part in the main story mode seamlessly online with their friends, or is that strictly reserved for their separate multiplayer missions? The main story is strictly designed as a dedicated single player experience, much like the Xenoverse games. The campaign is focused entirely on the GS squad dynamics, your custom avatar's unique journey, and exploring the narrative. However, there is an entirely separate massive pool of co-op and competitive missions specifically tailored for the online environment. So, this reminds me of Xenoverse 2 in a way. Personality has always been the heart of the Xenoverse series. What can you tell us about the custom aspects? To which the comment is, character customization is still the absolute pillar of the franchise. Players want to express exactly who they want to be when entering the Dragon Ball universe. To facilitate that, the range of customization options in Xenoverse 3 is significantly wider than in the first two games. The mechanical expansion extends heavily into fighting styles. In previous games, player builds felt rigid. This time we want to accommodate highly specific combat designs. If you want to play a long-range zoning style like Frieza, an aggressive brawl like Goku, or use team tactics reminiscent of the Ginyu Force, it's built to support these individual preferences. Whew, man, this is a lot to read. How many different fighting styles and character races have you showcased so far, and can you tease us how many more are planned for launch? He says, when we initially mapped out development, we experimented with traditional subtraction style systems, meaning choose strict locked classes that limit what you can do. However, we realized that in the world of Dragon Ball, every single player ultimately wants to become the ultimate multi-talented warrior. Because of that, we have shifted to an addition style system. Instead of locking you into narrow type archetypes, players have the absolute freedom to dynamically swap different skills, attributes, styles in and out, empowering them to craft whatever type of custom warrior they can imagine. Now, this one is an interesting one. Does a custom character's height or physical size affect their movement speed or maximum health at all like in previous titles? No, they don't. Not this time around. When you look at the source material of Dragon Ball, being physically massive doesn't automatically make a character slow, and being tiny doesn't make you a fragile speedster. Characters break these rules constantly. We wanted to completely separate cosmetic visual expressions from gameplay stats, giving players total freedom to look how they want without worrying about optimization penalties. If a player wants to completely change their character's appearances or mechanical build down the line, can they freely do so, or will it require gathering the Dragon Balls to make a wish down? You definitely will not have to... Jesus, I can't even read properly. I had done a previous video and I had to scrap it because of the demo stuff. You will definitely not have to completely delete your progress and start over from scratch just to alter your character. We have built a lot of latitude into the system to let players adjust and tweak their builds. That said, we still want your character's growth choices to carry a certain weight, pride, and sense of permanence, so it won't be entirely trivialized. Let me stop this for a moment. In Western communities, a popular meme customization trend is to take an iconic hero like Vegeta and recreate him perfectly, except for one addition, giving him a gun. Will weapons like guns be available as accessories or fighting styles in Xenoverse 3? Custom accessories are part of the player identity, and we are absolutely bringing that element back from previous games. I will honestly have to double check with the asset team to see if a sidearm accessory is specifically in the current build. If players could finally live up their ultimate fantasy of playing as the iconic power level 5 farmer with shotgun, he just says a generic thing, so no need to that. Turning back to multiplayer, players love a strict endgame challenge. Can we expect options to replay missions at scaled up difficulties, or high tier challenges kept as separate endgame activities? While our baseline missions are incredibly balanced for a smooth progression curve, we have designed highly specific brutal challenges for advanced play. When you step into high-tier encounters, the enemy AI shifts dramatically. Bosses utilize completely unique movement patterns, advanced behavior loops, and custom cinematic supers that force your squad to communicate and coordinate strategies to survive. The Broly fight gave us our first look at the new soul-shifting mechanic. How did you go about deciding which specific characters from the history will be available to utilize via soul shifting? I can't talk about the exact roster composition just yet, so it might be selective, I guess. Just an inner thought. But you can look forward to seeing characters like Future Trucks and other staples highlighted in the upcoming information drops. Soul shifting is fundamentally about giving players the ultimate tool to break combat open, when that means triggering a character-specific awakening or dynamically calling in iconic roster characters to alter the match rhythm. Throughout the Dragon Ball history, there are dozens of different different versions of Goku. With soul shifting, will players be selecting a general version of Goku, or will they be able to pick specific versions of him? Our core goal for the mechanic is to provide a deep array of variations. Because he's the absolute thematic author of the franchise, and in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, the specific relationship between Goku and your custom avatar forms a massive backbone of the experience. We are creating a broad system for him, so please look forward to the future updates detailing how he operates. Will we see characters from Dragon Ball GT or Diamond crossing over to this game? Because our sandbox is rooted squarely in a brand new timeline with Age 1000, how we specifically bridge the gap to past anime series and spin-offs is a closely guarded secret for now. However, the future setting gives us a clean state to incorporate elements elegantly, so stay tuned. To be honest, I'm so tired from reading it. I can't even read properly with my nose, so I guess to me this seems like a hint. Since players are fighting alongside and against iconic characters, will legendary historical battles from the original manga and anime show up as playable set pieces? Since our narrative is set entirely in the future, how those historical clashes manifest with our campaign requires a very logical explanation. We have spent an immense amount of time ensuring everything makes perfect narrative sense, and the way those historical battles cross over is something we are eager for fans to see. Do they still host a classic world tournament in 1000? That is something we're keeping under wraps. All right, can you touch upon the projected length of the game? How many hours can players expect out of the story mode, and what does multiplayer volume look like at launch? So he says that we could expect roughly 20 to 30 hours of cinematic campaign content. On the multiplayer side, the launch volume is massive, but our long-term plan is to treat this as a living world. We are preparing a robust post-launch roadmap packed with community events, drops, and consistent updates to keep the community thriving. Can you share any broad philosophies regarding your roadmap goals for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3? While I can't detail specific seasonal content, our structural vision is completely locked in. The implementation of full crossplay across all our systems is absolutely our priority. We want to remove all platform barriers so that the global community can seamlessly log in, play together, and essentially live inside this realization of Age 1000. Speaking of the live world, we caught a brief look at the customizable playable aspects. Can players customize those spaces and invite their multiplayer parties inside? While I can't dive into the specific room mechanics today, we are heavily prioritizing expanded social features. Looking back at Xenoverse 1 and 2, we noticed that players took immense pride in treating their custom character like a business card. We want to lead heavily into that behavior by giving players a concrete, interactive space within the universe to showcase exactly who they are to their peers. Will there be any legacy save data bonuses for players active within Xenoverse 2 or Sparking Zero? We understand that the game community is incredibly loyal, and many players have spent years supporting our pastimes. We're actively evaluating and exploring cross-promo rewards and save data recognition to honor that long-term dedication. And of course, they're targeting a 2027 release. Yeah, I couldn't read everything else, but honestly, it looks good. So 20 to story, 30 hours of story, cross-play, and a brand new story. So we'll look forward to it. And at least they mentioned GT.